Hi everybody and welcome. My name is Stuart Haden, founder of Storm Beach, specialising in authentic leadership, keeping myself very busy as a coach, consultant, facilitator, speaker and author of this book that's in my hand here, It's Not About the Coach, which is in my hand for a reason because this is the focus of this short video. This short video is going to focus on chapter 3 of the book, which is around emotions, and this fits into sort of part 3 of the book, which is around possibilities. So this is the phase for a coachee, because that's who the book is written for, assessing different possibilities, and some of those can of course be quite emotional. So I'll do a short reading and then we'll break it down a bit further. So the title, the subheading I suppose of this chapter is around emotional possibilities. Working with your emotions is by no means a new concept. You will find it everywhere you look. It has to feature in coaching. For me, music is incredibly emotive. I've shared the odd lyric in my story, but it needs to have the sound, pitch, melody and harmony to tug at my heartstrings. Jimmy Page, the guitarist with Led Zeppelin, was pretty adamant that technique was never a feature of his riffs. I deal in emotions. Buried in the previous sentence was another one of my music idols. He was also called Stuart, but like Mr. Roberts and Ms. Jones, they're from previous chapters, you won't know what that means yet. He needed more of an identity. Stuart Goddard, better known as Adam Ant. The movement that he was at the forefront of even had emotional connections, the New Romantics. His look, as much as his music, is what resonated with me as a teenager. Unique, drama, rebellious costume. Prince Charming meets the Pirates. Like you, I could go on, songs that take me right back to that place. Back to that feeling experienced in my whole body. Just mention 80s music and my physiology changes. So what's the New Romantics, Adam Ant, Led Zeppelin music really got to do with coaching? Well, it's just an example really, it's just a story, because this phase is all about what's your story. It's, I suppose, about just tapping into those emotions, and you know, I find music very emotional, so that's something I can hang on to as a tag, I suppose. So if I'm therefore looking and when I'm being coached to share emotions, that's a resource I've got. It's energy that I've got. So if I can get emotional about music, then I can get emotional about being coached, leading, being a family member, all that good stuff. So it's just an example really, just find your story. So when you're hearing that, maybe you're thinking of music yourself, or films, or arts, or drama, or family, or cats and dogs, whatever it might be, just find that emotion, connect to it. What does it mean? What's it telling you? And emotions are great signposts, remember, but you've got to act on the signpost. You know, the signpost is there, it doesn't actually allow you to walk on the path right or left, you have to do something with it. So you have to search, listen, check for possibilities around emotions and do something with it as a coachee. Let's have a final reading and we'll finish up. So, leaving the London nightclubs, emotions were made famous by Daniel Goleman in his work around emotional intelligence, which brought to our vocabulary the term EI. For that, we should be thankful, but I look to others to appreciate emotions further. Goleman, for me, highlights the importance of emotions and has done a global job of illuminating this area. Inquiry into how we know, manage and develop our emotions brings greater reward. Emotions are the sandwich filling. To one side sits our grounded and physical energy, to the other, intellectual and creative energy. I refer to these as energy sources: soul, body, heart, mind and spirit. Okay, so there you go, that just positions emotions. It's not the be all and end all. It's very important in coaching. Mainly highlighted as kind of like top 9 chapters from my research, because people often neglect emotions, particularly in business. But I think, you know, in life and sport we get it as well. But sometimes when we walk through that office door, we kind of think, well, we'll leave those emotions behind. And I was coaching someone once, and a great bloke, and he actually said to me, well, emotions aren't important in work, are they? And you know, his default was more logical, more assessment. That's fine. We all have our default. I'm more emotional than I am assessment, but I have to do both. You've got to do both in coaching. You've got to do both in work. You've got to do both in sport. And if you harness that emotional energy as coachee, as well as the intellectual stuff, as well as the physical, the grounded, the spirit, the meaning, connection. It's just part of the 5 energy sources that I outlined: the soul, the body, the heart, the mind, and the spirit. But it's an important part of that, and sometimes it's a bit of a shortcut people neglect. So as Coachee, hang on to those emotions, check out what they mean to you, and act on them, because they're only signposts, and let them take you further forward.